kids cases I think are some of the hardest cases. I mean, all of it's difficult. But when it's a kid, they have such a quiet voice as it is. You know, we don't ever hear from our kids. And then when they come forward and they say, well, this is what happened to me, we're all like, what? How did this happen? And a lot of times, inadvertently, we end up making the kids feel guilty, you know, because we get so angry at it, they think that we're angry at them. And kids see that. I mean, a lot of kids know about what happened with Sandusky. You know, the whole good touch, bad touch body rights is a popular subject at the Y right now. I'm going to a lot of different schools talking to little kids about no touch zones and what to do if you're being touched by an adult and it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's, difficult for me to talk about because I'm just like, oh, you guys are so innocent. You guys are, K-5, first, second grade. God forbid this ever happens to any of you, but if they don't know, they're going to keep it a secret. And I think that's partly what happened with a lot of those kids. That happened so long ago. This wasn't something that we talked about. I never was taught about body rights and, good touch, bad touch. It was just kind of, nobody talked about it, I wasn't in school that long ago, and it was just still, this isn't touch. You don't talk about what's good touch. You don't talk about someone else touching you because that's a taboo. Because that means if we talk about it, they're going to start having sex. If we talk about, good touch, bad touch, that means they're going to start having sex. No. That means they're going to know, oh, this person touched me and it didn't make me feel right. I'm not going to allow, I need to tell somebody. Does that answer your question?
Sure.
Did you have another one?
Yeah, do you know anything about sex slavery?
Like, know anything about sex slavery?
Yeah, and like the statistics, our country.
I know America's Most Wanted just did a 2-hour special on human trafficking.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't been asked to do anything on that. I can do research on it. I haven't had the chance, to be honest, to do all that research, so I don't know. I can't sit up here and tell you any kind of statistic because I don't. Go ahead.
I can tell him that there are sex slaves in Harrisburg, in Lancaster, in York.
Oh, they're everywhere. Oh, I don't need research to tell you that. I mean, they're in every town. I mean, big, small, it doesn't matter. It happens just like drug rings, and just like prostitution rings, and just like, kids being molested. That stuff happens everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in a big, huge city or if you're in a tiny, rural area. Does anyone else have any questions or anything? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times, the kid that's touching the other kid, they've been touched, or they've been abused. Or they've seen it. They may have never been abused themselves, but they've seen someone touching someone else in a certain way. Oh, hey, let me try this out on you. A lot, not always, a lot of times, depending on the age of the kid, they don't mean it in the same way that an adult perpetrator would. Some kids do. Some kids grow up very fast and they mean it in the same type of way. When I do body rights, I tell anybody ever touches you in a way that makes you feel unsafe, that makes you feel funny inside, you need to tell someone. It's difficult to tell a kid, well, it's okay for a doctor to do it, but it's not okay for, an aunt, an uncle, or a relative to do it, unless, as I said, I always tell them, sometimes, a parent or adult authority has to check things to make sure you're safe and you're healthy. But if they're doing it in a way that makes you feel unsafe and it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you have to report it. I mean, there's such a thin line between who's okay to do that to me and who's not okay. So yeah, I mean, other kids do it to other kids, relatives do it to kids. Go ahead.
And do you have suggestions for talking to kids who are doing that?
Talking to kids who are doing it?
Right, like how do you get a kid to stop that kind of touch?
I would probably start out by doing like a whole body rights thing. Look, this is okay, because that way you would find out if they're being touched or if they're seeing someone. Like I said, a lot of times they don't mean it in the same way. They're not doing it to hurt someone else. They think it's okay. They think it's acceptable. I mean, just like when a kid swears for their first time and you're like, why did you just say that? Well, mommy said that when she was driving the other day, or I heard grandpa say it. It's the same type of thing. They learn, they see things, and they think, oh, if they're doing it, then it must be okay if I can do it. And then if it's beyond that, getting them help. Getting them out of the situation they are in, protecting the other kid from being abused anymore, and then getting that kid help. either by calling a hospital and getting a child counselor down or whatever. But to talk to them, you know, if you were to talk to them, I would start out with, look, this is what's okay to touch, this is what's not. You know, you should never touch somebody, and you should never let someone touch you if it makes you uncomfortable. You know, the bathing suit that you wear to the beach and the pool, those are your no touch zones. You know, there's a good hug and there's a bad hug. This is how you tell the difference. Make sense? Yeah.
Do you do your program at Catholic schools, homeschool kids,
I've never had homeschool. It doesn't mean we wouldn't do it.
charter schools?
It doesn't mean I wouldn't do it. I haven't started in January. We could have in the past. I know we have a school counselor. What's the Jewish school on French Street there?
Yeshiva.
Yeah, we have a school counselor going in there, but she's trying to get me to come in and do a whole worldwide. I've been to Milton Hershey. I mean, I've been to tons of public schools. It doesn't mean we can't do it. We haven't been asked if we're not there and someone's not asking us to come in, or I haven't done an outreach there yet. But absolutely, I mean, that doesn't matter. We don't, you know, like I said, a victim's a victim. It doesn't matter who it is. There's no way that I would, oh, well, no, I can't go into this school, or I can't talk to these people.
I would just think that homeschooled kids might be in more danger than others because they don't have daily contact with,
Well, and a lot of homeschools now have like homeschool groups,
right?
where they interact with other homeschool kids, or they have their youth groups, or they have some type of, you know, camp in the summer or whatever. Yeah, but absolutely. I mean, a homeschool group called me and was like, so we have all these homeschool kids who, you know, hang out here once a month. Can you come? Absolutely, in a heartbeat. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, we do Dauphin County and a little bit of Perry County. We do have a Perry County office, so.
And you guys have like health fair. They do like a health fair.
Yeah, actually, tomorrow, I'll be at the Middletown School District Health Fair. I think it's tomorrow. I'm on schedule stuff. I think it's tomorrow, but we just went, like I said, to a Milton Hershey fair. There's another health fair coming up, I think, later, as the weather gets warmer too. But yeah, we do. Those are just events where all we have is we have a table sitting out and someone's sitting there with, here's our information. If you have questions, let me know. You know, that's fine. I just went up to Dickinson College and they had the GSB Alliance up there, so it was the LGBTQ population, our community, and it was a bunch of high school students, and I was up there for like an hour and a half and talked to them. So, yeah, I mean, I love what I do. I don't always love what I'm talking about, but being able to get this information out, I always say, you know, I can have the worst day where it's victim after victim after victim, and I'm just like, I'm down in the dumps. And then all I have to have is one person say, you know, what you said helped me, or I was able to help somebody because of what you told me. Great, that makes my day. I don't need anything else. Do you guys have anything else for me? Good.
Do you think that parents are talking to their children enough?
I think they're doing it a lot more than they used to, yeah, because schools are doing it a lot more, and
Right.
kids are coming home with questions. When I went in today to the elementary school, and I said, you know, how many of you have seen this video before, and how many of you have talked about this before? Just about every single one of them was raising their hand, like, oh yeah, you know, we talk about it at home, or we talk about it in school a lot. So, I mean, kids talk, so if they're learning about it in school, they're probably taking it home and saying, all right, so what's this mean? But yeah, I definitely think that it's happening and they're talking about it a lot more with kids, which hopefully means that they grow up, rape will come down. You know, the whole, you know, the consent will be a big thing that we talk about, and the rape statistics will fall because we're learning about it at such a young age. Instead of waiting until we're in high school and college to talk about, okay, so this is how you protect yourself at a party. You know, this is how you do this. Now, look, if someone touches you now, you talk about it now, not later. You guys have anything else for me? Well, thank you. There's information that I'll leave on the table if you guys want to pick up some pamphlets or flyers or anything. Thanks.